Anahos! Katinayu tat vadain tuna achva. Valna rantak. Rana kalti! Throw down your weapon. Make one wrong move and I'll shoot.
You must be lonely here by yourself. Faye. Faye.
Faye.